My name is Rami Unger, and a quick note about what I'm about to read. This is the first couple of pages from my novel Rose, which is coming out later this month if we stay on schedule, my publisher and I. Funny thing though, this morning my publisher sent me the final edits for the novel, which I'm going to try and finish by the end of the weekend. Don't ask me how. So what you're going to hear tonight is probably going to be slightly changed from the final version if you decide to pick that up. So just wanted to let you all know that. And if this actually gets you interested, find me afterwards. I'll tell you all about the novel. Rose, Chapter 1. Okay, this is weird. Where the fuck am I? I look around me, surrounded by a sea of vegetation, flowers and shrubs in hundreds of varieties, sitting in pots and trays atop a grid of workbenches. Surrounding the workbenches is a ring of trees that tower over everything, their upward growth halted by a glass ceiling. The literal glass ceiling, not the one taught in my classes. Past the trees I spy more glass, through which nothing can be glimpsed but total darkness. I'm in a greenhouse. Why am I waking up in a greenhouse? I try to think back, but I can't remember anything about how I fell asleep. In fact, I can't remember how I got to the greenhouse in the first place, where this greenhouse is located. Am I supposed to be here? If so, why? The questions make my pounding head hurt worse. I force my thoughts quite long enough for the pain to subside to a dull throb. Able to think again, I try to remember what I was doing before I found myself here. Nothing comes to me. Okay, no problem. What's the last thing I do remember? Walking home. Yeah, I was walking home after meeting with my advisor. I had my textbooks and my lesson plan for the coming semester in my bag. I crossed the street, turned the corner at Potbelly's, and approached my... What kind of home do I live in? I strain, but there's a gray fog in my memories, obscuring everything. Not only that, but the word for the kind of building I live in is missing. Why? I should know this. It's a word thrown around in everyday speech. I push, but the gray fog doesn't go away, and the word doesn't come. I try skipping over to when I got inside, but that's also a wash of gray. Concerned, I rewind instead and get as far as the building where my department is housed, but I can't remember the name of the building. That can't be. I've been taking classes there for... I can't remember how long I've been taking classes there. At least 4 years, because I was accepted into the graduate program, but the exact number eludes me. So does the building's layout, as well as the people in my program, my teachers, and my advisor. It's all gone. I can't even remember any of my classes or projects I've done past undergrad, though somehow I remember the information I've learned since then. My breathing quickens and I put a hand over my chest. Why can't I remember anything? Okay. Slow down. What do I remember? Let's see. My name is Rose Taggart. Last I checked, I was 21 years old and I'm a sociology grad. Yeah, I'm a sociology grad, specializing in criminology. And I remember stuff I've been learning in my classes, statistics and theories and social constructs, plus the work I was doing on gun violence. And I'm a graduate at Ohio State University, the second in my family to go. I also have 2 sisters, Hope and Madeline, and a brother, Brian. Brian and Hope are older than me, and Maddie is younger. Hope is the other to go to OSU, while Brian betrayed all that was holy and went up north to University of Michigan. Maddie's in middle school. My parents are Roger and Barbara Taggart. My dad is But I can't remember what my parents do, which is insane because it's why I've had to work to attend college. Why can't I remember any of this? What happened to me? I must find someone who can explain to me what's going on. A doctor preferably, or the greenhouse caretaker. I slide off the table I'm lying on. As I do, two things come to my attention. One is that I'm wearing a pink strapless dress, which I can tell at a glance costs more than I'm used to spending on clothes. The other is the dress and table are covered in roses, red and pink and yellow ones with long, thorny stems, some of which fall to the ground as I swing my legs off the table. I bend to pick one up, careful not to prick myself on one of the thorns, and roll the blossom between my fingers, admiring the beautiful pink color and the soft velvet sensation of the petals. I normally don't care for roses. Too many people have made jokes about my name for me to like them. But right now I'm curious. Who sees a sleeping woman in a dress and thinks, sure, let's put roses on her? Suddenly, the rose dies in my hand. The pink, fleshy petals turn black and crinkly, while the stalk becomes brown and brittle. I drop the rose and stand alarmed. On the workbench and on the ground, roses wilt and die before my eyes. What the hell? As the flowers die, I notice something lying at the foot of the workbench that's not a rose. I lean forward to take a closer look, only to jump back in horror. Lying in a pool of its own blood is a large brown cat. Its stomach slit down the middle so its intestines hang out like the contents of some grotesque piñata. The cat's face points in my direction, frozen in an eternal expression of surprise, as if it too can't understand what has happened to it. My hands go to my mouth, my heart pounds against my chest, my stomach heaves, though I have no idea if I've eaten recently. I step back, trip on the hem of my dress, and fall on my back. I cry out, and then my stomach gives another tremendous heave. Dead roses crackling underneath me. I turn over onto all fours, my red hair tumbling past my shoulders. I wait, feeling something moving up my esophagus. Oh God, I'm going to be sick! I'm going to be sick! Something's wrong. It doesn't feel like normal nausea. It feels like snakes are moving through my chest and into my neck, around my esophagus rather than inside it. This isn't vomit, it's things. Creatures, long and round and snake-like, moving underneath my skin. Images of thin black serpents moving around my trachea flash through my mind, and my panic rises. What if they try to bite and poison me with venom, or strangle me from within? My hands dart to my neck, though I'm not sure if I'm figuring out what's under my skin or to claw out whatever's moving around inside me. The things in my neck zoom past my hands and twist around my windpipe, cutting off the flow of oxygen to my lungs. I open my mouth to scream, but nothing comes out except a reedy whisper. Things in my neck are pushing outwards at the skin of my neck, sharp tips boring through like tiny drills. There's 8 in total. Points where they push form a ring around the circumference of my neck, like a deep tissue choker of pain. My chest burns, my brain screams, my strength is fading. Darkness creeps into my vision. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to survive. I won't find out what's happened to me. The things in my neck burst free, long and green and snake-like, each about 2 or 3 feet long. They swish whip-like through the air, blood flying off them and splattering plants and tables. The pressure on my windpipe vanishes, and I suck in a deep breath before exhaling a pained scream. God, it feels like I've been stabbed 8 times in the neck, only whatever stabbed me came from inside. Words like freaky and unreal don't even begin to cover the situation. The things stop swishing and hang still in the air, giving me time to think of a real name for them. Tentacles, I decide. They're tentacles, like an octopus or a squid. Why are they coming out of me? Before I can find an answer, a pair of tentacles lash out and wrap around the leg of a workbench. Another pair wrap around the leg of the workbench opposite, and the last 2 pairs grab the ground below and the top of the workbenches above me. Then the first pair unwrap themselves from the workbench and lunge for the leg belonging to the one in front of me, wrapping around the leg and dragging me forward. The second pair do the same thing with the workbenches on their side, pulling me forward like a rag doll. I cry out as the tentacles work in unison, moving forward like some strange insect and taking me along with them. I try to grab something to hold on to, but each time I try, I can't get a grip. After the third attempt leaves my hands raw, I stop and just let myself be pulled along, crying from pain and terror. The tentacles clear the workbenches and climb up a short stone wall into the soil bed where the trees bask. They stop and I stop too, lying half on and half off the soil bed, while they hover in the air. I have the impression they're smelling the air, like dogs. Before I can wonder what they're sniffing for, the tentacles dive into the soil, plunging deep until only a few inches close to my neck are visible. They start pulsing, spasms running from deeply within the earth, up their length and into me. I shudder and try to pull away, but the tentacles pull me back and burrow deeper, pinning me against the dirt. I can't escape. And if you want to find out what happens next, Rose will be available, June 21st, if all goes well. Well, thank you very much.